Welcome to the G-Spot, partake in stimulating discussions that may lead to an arousal of opinion. I am your host, Majesty, and today I want to get something off my chest. Because I don't know when, but the Black delegation apparently elected officials I don't remember voting for. Yep, I'm talking about the self-appointed President of Blackness. Y'all know the ones who act like somebody died and left them in charge over the entire culture? You know, the ones that tell us what's too Black, the things we need to change, the reasons why they don't like dealing with us. Those the ones. Them. My question is, why do Black people keep holding each other to these white standards? I know you've heard it, or you've probably even said it yourself. Things like, see, white people don't do this, or this is exactly why I don't shop with Black businesses. And let's not forget, this is why we can't get ahead because Black people be doing XYZ. And every time I hear it, I ask myself, when did whiteness become the benchmark for Blackness? Like, when did that become the standard? Maybe I'm late to the party. I think it's always been the standard, which is why there's a lot of us that feel comfortable asking these dumb questions and making these dumb statements. Like we're supposed to be looking at white people like, oh my God, yes, this is exactly how we're supposed to be doing things, like this. But let's be clear. This is not a white people bashing episode. This is a mirror episode because Black people need to look in the mirror and take a deeper look at ourselves. When we say things like that in reference to our own culture, what we're really saying is white behavior is the standard and Black behavior, it needs correcting. And some of y'all may argue like, yeah, it do needs correcting. Yeah, but it's a time and a place for everything. And that's the problem. Why do we as Black Americans feel the need to openly express our disgruntled cultural issues to everybody else? Why do we broadcast our problems like it's a press conference, while other communities handle theirs behind closed doors? Because if we're going to be real, every group got dysfunction. They all got dysfunction. We all have issues within our own communities. White people have mess. Asian people have mess. Latino people have mess. The difference is they don't tell us about it. They not on the TV. They not on the social media platforms with the microphone telling everybody that they have these type of issues within their community. They're not on social media tearing each other down. And why should they? We're not a part of that community. And the same goes for us. Why do we need to tell them our deep, dark secrets when they're not a part of our community? At this point, I'm starting to think that we need to just have certain club meetings so that we could talk about this stuff on the inner parts of our community and not on the outskirts of it. And the crazy part is we have the nerve to get mad when they use the same things that we've broadcast against us. We get mad when they come into our spaces and perpetuate the same negative stereotypes that we put out there. We get mad when they come into our communities and use the things that we've taught them through oversharing and try to profit off of it. We're literally out here giving them the recipe to gentrify us. Like, I promise you, it's okay to gatekeep. Rather that be creative things within our culture or our problems. It's okay to just keep it between us. But instead, we have so many of our own willing to scream from the rooftop about how we won't spend money with our own people simply because they are Black. Like, that's not enough. Like, being Black is not enough. What else? Meanwhile, that's exactly what other ethnic groups do. They circulate money internally, they protect their own, and they critique privately. Yeah, like we want to say, oh, white people don't do this, and we want to be like them. Asian people, they could come together and they'll stay in the same household and get it out the mud together. We want to compare ourselves to all that type stuff, but won't compare the fact that they shut the hell up out in public when it comes to critiquing one another. Why don't we take that? Yeah, we don't want to take that part, right? We just want to be able to like take all the other pieces like, oh my God, they're nicer, they're this, they're that. And I hate when y'all do that because Black people are not a monolith. We already know that. We hear it so much, it's become cliche. We are not all the same, but it's certain things we should be in alignment doing on the same accord, which is shutting up and talking amongst each other and out to the world about the things that we have issues with within our own communities. And yes, you may have a couple of people within other cultures that talk about the different issues they have within their communities, but it's not even enough to make an impact. Meanwhile, collectively, is so many of us that feel so comfortable with openly discussing their disgust for our community. I can care less about your disgruntlement about Black people. Hell, it's some of them that I don't like, but damn it, not in front of company. We will go on and on about all the different things we hate about our own community. And then we sum that up and call that having standards. No, that's separation disguised as intelligence. You're trying to look like, oh, I'm so smart. I'm so above this. I rise above all the drama. I'm above this. And the whole time you're helping to discredit the things that we're trying to build. But the truth is, a lot of us was raised on respectability politics. Like talk softer, dress cleaner, don't embarrass us. Don't be too loud. Don't be too emotional. Basically, don't be too black. But the unspoken part has always been this. If you behave closer to whiteness, you'll be safer. You'll be accepted. You'll be rewarded. When in reality, whiteness has never protected us. Not when we were quiet, not when we were polite, not when we're educated, not when we're excellent. So you can tap dance all you want. At the end of the day, what Jay-Z said, still nigga. So why are we still using whiteness as our measuring stick? It's funny because we can see so many things that we need to do away with when it comes to the things that we learn from Western civilization. But it's certain things that we just can't see, like, oh yeah, let's get rid of the whole dark skin isn't beautiful, but we're going to keep the fact that we need to be quiet around, white people, like let's fit in. And if I'm being real, the main ones that are always saying things like, see, only black people do stuff like this, they the most ignorant ones. Most of them have never stepped foot out of their own environment, never traveled, never built anything, never studied another culture beyond the TV or at the workplace, but want to speak with authority like somebody crowned them the cultural spokesperson. Talking like they know exactly how other cultures operate behind closed doors. And they don't. Y'all don't have any idea what be going on behind closed doors with these people. Like y'all take the behind the scene information and then compare it with other cultures' highlight reels. That's not consciousness, and that damn sure ain't pro-blackness. So I don't get it when y'all are talking about all the things that black people do, like white people don't have the same issues, or any other group don't have the same issues. Because just like we fight. They even storm government buildings. They do drugs. They abuse power. They commit acts of violence. They too act a damn fool in public. The same things that we do that's undesirable, they do them too. But when they do it, it's called an isolated incident, a mental health issue, or just one bad apple out of the bunch. But when we do it, it's, oh my God, something is wrong with black people. It's, oh my God, look, you can't take black people nowhere. How do y'all fix your mouth and say stuff like this and y'all feel okay? Like, y'all don't feel crazy saying this type of stuff? I don't think they feel crazy saying this type of stuff. So when we talk about things like this about our own, we're not holding ourselves to higher standards. We're holding ourselves to unequal ones. It ain't never been equal. Accountability is necessary, but a public dragging is not. It's not even necessary. Y'all be doing too much. It's hard to ask for protection and equality while also telling the world that you don't even trust your own people. If you don't trust them, why the hell should we, ma'am? Sir? Anybody? I know I'm not alone when I say I am sick of hearing black greatness be measured by white behavior. Why are we so happily like to say, oh, white people don't do this. This is why I don't mess with black people now. Yeah, this is why. I even remember seeing on social media, people were talking about HBCUs and all the different hoops they got to jump through and how it's so unprofessional with having to go through housing and having to get your scholarships and all that type of stuff dealt with. Whole time I went over to white TikTok and they have the same damn issues. Could you believe it? But you're saying how you don't want to go to an HBCU because of XYZ, holding us to these big ass standards while you would go to a PWI that's still going to play in your face. Who told you that whiteness was a standard? What did Malcolm X say? Who taught you to hate yourself? Sometimes I think a lot of these type of things come from fear. Fear that if we don't over-police ourselves, that the world is going to punish us even harder. We do it out of fear that we think proximity to whiteness equals safety. Fear that being fully ourselves is dangerous. And even though I can probably agree with that it looks that way. It is that way. Us just minding our business seems to be some of the dangerous things that you can do as a black person, walking down the street, just minding your business. But it still don't make sense to me that we openly shame each other. We overly correct one another. We distance ourselves from anything that is too black. And that's whack. Crack is whack, and distance yourself from black is whack. And we do a lot of these things and we literally sit around and call it growth. Like, oh, well, I don't do that anymore. Like, I don't hang with those type of Black people. Like, and then we look at ourselves like we're here. But that's not growth. Because if that growth requires you to erase yourself, that's not growth, that's assimilation. Because why are we auditing ourselves using standards that was never meant for us in the first place? And let me just say, this is not about pretending that our community is perfect, because it's not. By any means, I'm not saying that. It is definitely not perfect. But every family have issues, but we don't stand on the porch and yell it out to all the neighbors and put them in our business. As my mama would say, what happens in this house, stay in this house. Because when we do that, that's not honesty, that's self-sabotage. But it's evident that a lot of us don't critique Black culture because we want it to improve. They critique it as a way of distancing themselves from it. Because if I'm critiquing something, that is indirectly saying that I do not stand for that. I am not for that. I am over here. I'm not over there with it. Yeah. They over there with it. And I'm like sitting like right up here. When Asian people see Asian people acting up, do they be like, see, that's exactly why that's exactly why I don't be messing with them Asians now. No, they be like, damn, that's crazy. They don't put everybody in that same bunch. And now all Asians are crazy because you saw 2 Asian crazy people doing crazy things on the street. No, it's like, damn, they crazy. That's crazy. Not, dang, forget all the Chinese people now. I see it as you wanting to distance yourself to be the exception. Like, yeah, most Black people are ghetto. But me? But I am not. I am an uppity nigga. I don't use those foul languages. Yes, I would like some grape poupon. Y'all feet don't be hurting from tap dancing. Separation don't make you superior. It make you lonely. Because how you going to separate yourself from your own people and then turn around and speak for us in the same breath? I thought you're not one of us. You're not like us. You're not like us. How you going to speak for us? How you going to say, see, Black people be doing, no. And criticize. When we use whiteness as the standard, we fragment our culture. We shame our own creativity. We dismiss our traditions, and we confuse survival tactics with moral failure. And that's how we get stereotypes like loud equals ignorant, emotional equals unstable, and expressive means unprofessional. If you're assertive, you're aggressive when you're assertive. Everybody else can be assertive. You cannot be assertive. Meanwhile, this whole time we've been surviving without permission. Not because of it. We ain't been surviving because we've been sitting around seeking validation and asking for permission to be us. We've been surviving because we've been unapologetically us this entire time. Period, point blank. So let me decree and declare on behalf of the Black delegation. We get it. You don't like us. You don't want to be associated with us, and you don't want to do the work that it takes to build with us. But let's stop pretending that you're helping us by doing all these critiques when in actuality, you're just another obstacle. Stop auditioning for approval while tearing down the same people that you benefit from being born into. Stop speaking about us like you're not us, because you are. Whether you like it or not. It's crazy because they be treating proximity to whiteness like it's the goal. Whole time we've been the blueprint all along. We don't need to wait to be palatable. For years, we've built our culture under pressure. We do not need to start seeking approval now. Now, let me take a moment real quick and talk to the people in the back, because I know that the people in the back, sometimes they can't hear. So they start thinking that this means something that I'm not saying. So to the people in the back, this is in no way to excuse the people who bring harm, chaos, and destruction into our communities. I'm not talking about them. They need to be critiqued at every damn turn. This is not an anti-accountability type of speech. This is about understanding the difference in self-respect versus self-erasure, accountability versus shame, growth versus assimilation. Not only can we evolve without abandoning ourselves, we can do it without airing out our business in these racist streets. Like, do we really need to give them some ammo? Are we not already dealing with enough? Do we not already have enough food on our plate? So while critique is healthy when it's rooted in love, strategy, and accountability, public shaming, lazy comparisons, and cultural self-hate is not. That's not progress. That's performance. So no, we don't need an ignorant president of blackness denouncing us and publicizing our issues. We need builders, thinkers, and people willing to correct us with care. So the next time you feel the need to compare us to other cultures, do us all a favor. Don't. Don't. But if you find yourself doing it, ask yourself, who made those standards? Who's benefiting from you believing in those standards? And what part of yourself do you have to shrink in order to practice it? Because Black culture don't need to be corrected. It need to be protected, understood, and allowed to breathe. Damn, can we breathe? Can't do nothing without y'all doing all this talking, yap. And until we start measuring our Blackness by someone else's comfort, we're going to keep policing ourselves while the system sit back and watch us do its job for it. And that's just being real. That's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in to the G Spot. I am your host, G Majesty. If I managed to turn your opinion on, you're welcome. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease.